All right. All right, everybody. Welcome to the Random Movie Review Show. In this show, we give our opinions and talk about pop culture of things, talk about what's going on tonight. This episode, Five Nights at Freddy's, came out in this last year. Obviously, it's a video game. If you don't know, we're a little bit behind on the times on that one. I think because I didn't play it, but I know what it looks like thanks to family. Um, we are your hosts. I'm Colonel Chubbs, and over here we have Miss Hannah. Say hi, Miss Hannah.
Hi. Hello.
Now, you, like me, you knew what the game was, but you weren't like playing it back in the day, right?
Uh, no, my son plays it. He's like the big fan. I
Yeah.
never really got into it to be honest, but I did watch the movie and it was good.
Yes. For anybody who might not know, we do a little research. Now, it's not digging super deep, but try and give fun facts. Try and then give our opinions. If you want to see a real doozy, our Barbie episode is phenomenal. We just kind of gave up hope, but tonight, Five Nights at Freddy's. It was directed by Emma Tammy, who, when I looked her up, she's doing a movie called The Wind in 2018, a movie called The Left Right Game 2020. She's a new, apparently, you know, awesome to have female directors. It stars Josh Hutcherson from movies like The Hunger Games. I had to get that right because every time I want to say wait, Maze Runner, but that's not him. But I never saw The Hunger Games, but I know who he is. Um, you might know something else. The main star of this one, Josh.
Wait. Oh, he like is his name Mike in the movie?
Oh, you know what? I didn't write down the character names. I think it is Mike.
Oh yeah, his name's Mike. And then he has a sister
Uh,
named Abby.
yeah. Also stars Matthew
I think
Willard.
that was him in Hunger Games, right? You said
Yeah, he had blonde hair at the time.
he
Like,
looked so different. I didn't realize it was
yeah.
him.
Now there's a prequel to that movie, but good for him. He's been in plenty of other cool stuff.
Hmm.
Um, a lot of the people in the movie, like the cop female in a character, the little girl was in like Gunpowder Milkshake with uh, the girl who played Nebula in the Marvel universe. But a lot of these people seem to like not have a lot of credits, but I must say they did a good job. Me knowing that it's an old scare game, the original, for anybody that doesn't know, you looked at a bunch of screens as a security guard, and these animated Chuck E. Cheese type things will come to life and get you. Now, at this point, what, there's five games, right?
Hmm.
You
Yeah,
know, if
I think
the
so, right?
lore is out there. We were talking the other day, me and Miss Hannah, that what they have cosplay just for these people, and people put the bear suits together. I give them credit.
Yeah, they do a great job. I think Mike isn't he like British or something in the games? Like they made him
Maybe I'm not.
Mike, but they changed a lot of stuff from the games. Somebody can correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe he is. Um, and Vanessa's from like the Security Breach games. Um,
Okay.
and they changed William Afton. Is that his name? They changed his
Yeah.
name, so he's Steve. Like what's his name? Steve.
Yeah. So spoil. We do spoilers, by the way, after we get past the info and move to opinions. So anybody beware. We're going to spoil it because this is a review.
But he's
Now,
Springtrap, right? But they don't call him Springtrap.
he was in the yellow suit, which they call Bunny.
Yeah.
Also, that gave the spring trap, but the spring trap I know from watching people and isn't that. But yeah, you find out Matthew Lillard, who hires the guy to watch Freddy's at night, it turns out to be basically a Scooby Doo villain, which is funny because he played Shaggy. But you get the basis of the game where like these animatronics come to life and are evil. And you find out through the movie that what there's the souls of the kids he keeps dreaming about in the bears, or like the actual bodies are in there.
Well, it's like the kids that he murdered. Like it's the souls of
Right.
the kids he murdered. He's like a child murderer, and he just kind of went crazy, and he just started killing kids, and then like they like possessed those animatronics. But it seems like he kind of summoned them in them because he's like he controlled them. So I don't know. I don't know exactly how that happened.
Yeah, because the B plot of the movie is him and his dreams keep getting darker and weirder. You find out his brother was taken apparently by the new Springtrap there back
Hmm.
in the day, and he keeps reliving it. But he can talk to the ghost kids. The ghost kids cut him in his dream. I've never seen those dream sequences, so obviously I think they were invented for the movie. But that's your B plot is that he feels guilty. His brother was taken, and he meets the kids who are soul, body, and soul, who whatever, taken over animatronic. You know, Freddy Chica's a chicken. You know, Bunny's bunny, I guess. I don't know. They gave him two names.
Oh, and there's Cupcake that's in it. It's a super.
Cupcake, they give a good spotlight to a little cupcake demon. You
Yeah.
know, because the story, that's it. Like, I summed up the story of the game and the movie and everything. Like, it's bad animatronics. That's your story. How they present it is good. Now, some of the downsides, in my opinion, were like they went into too much detail on some things. Like, the C plot was his aunt trying to take custody of the kid or his sister because the parents had passed or whatnot, and she apparently hires the bad guys in the movie to mess things up. But that kind of, like, they get eaten, so that plot's gone. But like, they tried to cram some too much here, focus on too much there. But for you know, I give them credit. This was built up a lot. Like, Freddy's been around a while. It's pretty big. Me and Miss Hannah discussed like one of my children. His birthday party was themed Five Nights at Freddy's, and it's like, it's a phenomenon. And the movie came out a little bit later than I thought it would, but they got it. The animatronics look great. It looks like the game and whatever, and enough story to be like, okay, I get what you're doing. And it kind of teases a sequel, right? We get a stinger at the
Oh yeah, definitely. I think they have to do a part two. So like the end was obvious they're gonna do a part two. We gotta see what happens with Springtrap and stuff. Um, but his little sister, like she's kind of like friends with all those ghost kids or whatever. Like she has like a good relationship with them. It seems like.
Yeah, they bring up another plot where, like, he has trouble sleeping, so they really focus on he has sleeping pills, which the cop just throws in the water. Like, nice, you can pay for that. Um, so there's all these things keep you interested about just you know killer animatronics. Like, it got kind of slow at parts, but that's fine. Again, I give them credit. They had so much lore. So, like, what do you actually put in? What do you take out? And what do you change? Because things were changed. Not coming from the gaming world, you and I were like, we know what this is. We've seen these people. I've seen fan films that are better than major motion pictures of Five Nights at Freddy. Again, the cosplay is out of this world sometimes, and they nailed it. And it got a little gruesome. It could have been like they didn't show a lot of kills off screen. Like, the girl got bit in half. You see a shadow version, and the legs fall. That's cool. Um, and but then it like jumped, and it's like, okay, his first night or two. Then you get a lot of scenes at the house of them talking. Again, these other plots come in, but uh, I guess the sequel could answer all these questions. I hope they do it. I'd love to see it
Hmm.
before. Like, yeah. I didn't. We usually look up what they made. I didn't see. I didn't remember to look up what it made. Like, when the movie came out, I saw it free on the streaming services to get ready for this and to finally see it. But I mean, it's 2023. It came out this year. And this, by the way, is kind of like our end in review. We're going live because this will be probably our last one before 2024. So I hope you're excited for a new year.
Tomorrow's New Year's, isn't it? Tomorrow
Two
night.
days?
Tomorrow night,
Well,
right?
Sunday night into
Yeah.
the next day. And then, yeah. But for anybody who doesn't, it might be the first time you're seeing us, this is what we do. We bring up movies that you might have heard. Could be really old, could be really new. Like Freddy's, we did because it was new. Just like Barbie, like let's see what we got. And but our first episode, we had old horror. This is I don't know if you would call it horror because there are kills. They had the saw chair. I never understood like they have people in this chair. They're bolted in, and Freddy's open and coming at him with blades and stuff. And is that supposed to put him in the suit? Is that what that thing's supposed to be doing?
I think that's like a part of the games or something. It hurts to wear the suit. I don't know. It's supposed to be like super painful or something. That's kind of part of like the lore of it, I guess. Um, I think the costumes are pretty good, but I probably have seen cosplay better though, because like people homemade this stuff and they can make it even more extravagant than. Because I know some of the costumes. My son told me that the Springtrap, like he's seen way better ones, you know,
Yeah,
than the one they did for the movie. But I thought overall, for like, because I don't know that much about it, I thought it was good. I thought it was pretty good. I like when they were singing and stuff, and we got to see them kind of the animatronic.
yeah.
That was fun, and
They
they kept
exactly.
singing. What's that song? I hear the secrets that you keep when you're talking.
Yeah, yeah.
It's a
That's
good
from
one.
the '80s.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's an old '80s keyboard tune. But
I was wondering why my son kept listening to that because I didn't know because before the movie came out, he was always listening to that. I'm like, why are you always listening to that song? But I guess it was from Five Nights at Freddy's. But
all right, check out this comment. Mrs. M, part of our crew, found out it made $80 million opening night, 137 million domestic, 290,000 worldwide. So good for that movie. It made some dough.
I think it like that's the biggest movie, right? Or is it Barbie? Which one's bigger? FNAF or Barbie? Because those are both like the biggest movies this year.
Uh, I think there was way more hype for Barbie,
Yeah,
and
I don't know.
this
The
one.
theaters were crazy full of kids at FNAF, and they were all screaming. They were acting crazy. The theaters had a blast, just
Tell you what,
full.
both these movies, I would say, watch it if you have kids before you show your kids this movie or Barbie. Like, there's intense stuff. It is a little in the horror here. There are kills, so there's not a lot of blood. That's how they kind of get away with it. But people get messed up by these animatronics, and I love it. But
What is it
yeah.
rated?
I believe PG-13. I don't know if our great Mrs. M, if you're still listening, you can look that up. That's a good question.
I'm sure it probably was like about PG-13, right?
She says there are 10 games altogether. Are you kidding?
Okay, that's more than I thought. 10 games.
Well, like I said, the first one's kind of generic and boring. Like, it's just a picture of some screens you can click on. Great idea. You know, Weird you have like Chuck E. Cheese come to life. I think I don't.
I don't even know if Scott Cawthon makes the games anymore. I think he might have sold it. He just took the money and ran.
Oh, that's the guy who owned it.
Yeah, like he's the
Okay.
one that tried something new. He never did horror games, and then he tried something new, and it just took
Mhm.
off. His other
By the
games
way,
are good.
oh, no, go ahead.
I was just saying, like he never did a horror game. This was his first horror game, and it was like it blew up, and all of his other games nobody cared about. But then he got super rich and famous off the Five Nights at Freddy's because he did something different.
And they have every kind of thing for it. Again, like you can do your birthday party. Uh, Big cool dude Rem over here has a lot of the like. There's a tie dye Freddy, like just because.
Yeah,
So he has. By the way, the movie here was PG-13, so I give him credit for getting away with any kills at all. There's obviously I don't think there's any cursing, but I don't remember all.
hmm, there might have been a
He,
couple, but I didn't really. Not
he
that I.
didn't need it, so
Yeah, it doesn't. Yeah, my son he had a few of those Five Nights at Freddy's parties too. You know, I thought
Oh,
he would
that.
get tired of it, but it seems like he loves it.
Yeah, Mrs. M remembers there was a couple curse words, but you're allowed like one F word and one S word with PG-13. You can even have one boob, but there was obviously no nudity in here
Yeah,
because
that's
it's
that. It's about ghost kids.
yeah. And uh, so given what it made and what it did, and like we bring up the costumes a lot because heck, even if you don't know anything about it other than there's a movie about these animatronics, I would say check it out just to see how they did it. Because obviously, like the cupcake flies, this CGI or maybe even strings, but I didn't see like a lot of CGI thrown in. So they did a really good job of like making a menacing robot animal that comes after you. And
Hmm.
like you said, the girl talks to him like, and they're not seeming. Remember, like you think they're hurting her, but they're tickling her. There's a scene like that. Like she's cool with him. So
Yeah, I think they just go evil like towards the end or whatever, because
oh yeah, their goal is to take you with them.
yeah.
But so yeah, I'd say check it out if you're a horror fan. It's got a little horror. Um, I'll keep an eye out for sequel stuff. Like it is a little early. Like it was this year, even though this year is over. It was. It could have been more than during the summer this came out. Like it was
Yeah, Game
quite
Theory
recent.
is in the movie too. You know what Game Theory
Right.
is?
Yeah, yeah.
He's a big YouTuber. Yeah, he had a cameo in the movie.
I have seen YouTubers in movies nowadays. Like Barbie had one or two in there, um, and that's especially good for this one because when you're coming from your idea is a video game first, fan fiction second.
Hmm.
You know, I I'd love to like. I hope one day I can see the script. I'd love to read over, see how they planned it out. But yeah, a little trimming, and there are boring parts, slow parts, but every movie has it. I wasn't bored though. Like it was interesting enough, and I'm a little biased on the streaming thing because I like if I can pause something. Like remember how long Barbie was? Like it bored us to death at the end. It was so
Yeah,
long.
it was so long and like there's just a lot of like boring parts. Like like when she met the creator and stuff, that was kind of boring a little bit. Like the old lady.
Oh, here we go. There is a second one coming out this in next October. So like Saw, we're gonna get Freddy on October.
um, forgot what I was gonna say. There was another YouTuber in this movie. I just can't remember his name. You remember at the end the guy that got attacked by the cupcake in the car?
Yeah.
That's a big YouTuber too. And then Markiplier was supposed to be in it, but like
Eh,
his family
wow.
keeps dying, so he keeps having all these tragedies happen. So he was like, I just can't do it right now. Like he's been having
Well,
a hard.
hey, peace and love to him. Like he's pushing
Yeah.
through, and I've seen how he's been around a long time, and good content. And I mentioned to you that if you go back, by the way, anybody here who's not like part of our channel is a group of like 5 people, and we put out movie reviews to like experimenting with like soft drinks, you name it.
Product.
Uh, what our old show, like this is a revamped version of a show called Spooky Saturdays. It is Saturday, and this was kind of spooky, but this is called the random movie review. It could be any day of the week, but we usually do 2 movies, 1 episode. The next one we pick something a little bit bigger, so we could talk like this, at good length about our thoughts. Like Barbie, we had a lot to fill because we had a lot to say. Ted and Venus, me and you, we love that. So that was fun to talk about.
Yeah, it was.
And so yeah, stay tuned. Like we're gonna try and go live more. Usually we record just in case, mostly because in case something messes up. But I'm gonna look deeper and see if I can on my StreamYard put like the trailer behind us while we're talking. Something interesting like that.
Oh, that's a cool idea. Like just review trailers.
I mean, I have to be able to do it. Everybody else does StreamYard where they show stuff. I just
I've never did like well Do you remember I did that one a long time ago when we did what was it, Creep Show?
Oh
Yeah, you
yeah,
had me do that, and then like you added me in with you and Max. That was kind of cool how we did that too. You know.
yeah. Eventually, I want to get back. One thing we all have done together is a trailer review of some sort. Because trailers are short and sweet,
Mhm.
and these shows, this when we want to talk more about it. But you see, a lot of the show, me and Max just would see put on any trailer, talk about the movie if we know it or not. And we've gotten a lot of feedback. We have a lot. We do have some old school people who've been here when me and you were doing shows. What, 4 years ago?
Was it 3 or 4 years? Well, I guess it would be four coming up, wouldn't it?
Yeah, but there's a playlist on the Do Brother channel that is me and Hannah. There's movie news updates, horror news updates still in there, and there's at least 10 episodes. Could be an hour and a half. We talked about franchises like Child's Play and Aliens, and we talked about movies
Right.
for you like Phantom of the Paradise. We'll talk about anything
Oh, that was a great one.
within reason.
You had
I've
like
had suggestions, but
Angel City. Remember that one? Even though that was a cheap movie, it was still a good movie.
yeah, that's one of those like it was a TV movie, but like it felt normal to me and great actors. And when it's smaller like that, they seem to act a little bit harder, and it was good. Like this movie, like they had to just say we need a big name to be the stars. Matthew Lewis for old school people like us, and Josh is like I said, I haven't seen the Hunger Games. I know what they are, I know what they're about, and you know hell, like you said, there's YouTubers in this movie. They're trying to include everything, given it's a video game turned into, you know, graphic novels. I know there's an encyclopedia about everybody in in this universe, but it's not really that confusing. There's one bear animatronic, a bird, a bunny, and they're gonna kill
I mean, I guess the games have tons of characters and stuff, though. Like they've added so many characters in the games and stuff. Um, that I guess like if they make more movies, they'll be able to add more of those. Hopefully we'll see Puppet or something. Or what is that one, Baby Face or whatever? Like, what is it called? Like the
you.
baby, Circus Baby. That's it, Circus Baby. Maybe we'll
Yeah, they
see.
did. Oh, sorry. Go
Oh,
ahead.
they put Circus Baby in. I didn't see her.
They had like the balloon boy and the girl animatronic, but if I remember correctly, they were just kind of there in some of the shots. They didn't; those didn't come to life. So I'm hoping they're saving it because those are very interesting people. Like the Springtrap, I thought I knew was like skinny black with a white mask, but
Hmm.
that's not the way they presented it in this movie. It's you
Yeah, they
know,
called him Yellow Rabbit in the movie too.
and spoilers, obviously, as we said, eventually the other animatronics turn on Matthew Lillard's Steven character, who's into trying to, do his evil thing. They turn him against him, kind of, and they kick his butt, right? Like
Yeah, and they
they
killed the
drag
ant.
him away.
Remember they killed the ant.
Yeah, there
Isn't
was
that
some
the
stakes.
famous actress? What is her name? Like I don't even know. I seen her in something.
Like I said, when I looked up all the people in this movie, like Josh is the biggest person, obviously. Well, Matthew Lillard, I guess, would be the biggest person in the movie. He's been around longer, done more. Josh is a very popular guy, thanks to things like the Hunger Games. But yeah, the girl, she's been in some other stuff, but not bigger than a dozen, maybe. And but I'd love to see everybody in this movie did a good job. I'd love to see what they're gonna do next.
Mm-hmm.
Um, what Mrs. M says they were turning him into Springtrap. So by name,
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's it. Was that what that whole mask thing was about? That he's turning into
and
Springfield? Okay.
she says Circus Baby was going to be Abby. Abby was the daughter. So right?
Oh.
Yeah, it was Mike, Abby, Steve. But pretty generic stuff there. Again,
Yeah.
a game about you're a security guard watching screens. They made it at least interesting.
See, I'm still learning the FNAF stuff. I don't know all that much about it. Like, I didn't play the games, but I did see the movie. But I'm still trying to learn all the lore and stuff. But they changed
Uh,
so much of it from like the games to the movie. Like everything's different.
yeah, she's reminding me that was his sister. I kept thinking that's his daughter, and I keep correcting myself. But in the movie, their parents are apparently passed, and he's living with her.
Yeah, I used
Which
to
is
raise her, I guess.
all right. I'm just turning the camera off for a sec, but I can hear and see and speak. So I'm still here. Well, I'll tell you what. Um, let's go ahead and do our score. Why don't you go first and give me your number out of 10 and just
Um, I guess I'll give it an 8.5 because I think the story was interesting. There wasn't really like dead air, and the costumes were good, and I think everybody did a great job in the movie. I think everybody was fantastic.
yeah, they could have dropped the ball on the script, the acting. It could have been really cheesy animatronic looking, but they nailed it. I think again,
Yeah,
you can know nothing about the game or and have a good horror
I
movie.
feel like I should have like learned some more stuff though, because I didn't take much notes because I just watched them. I didn't learn much about the games and stuff. Maybe I should have like learned the lore or something like studied.
That's the thing. I think me and you were talking after we were we didn't see this yesterday. We saw it a little while back, but it was enough for me to retain what we were watching, what was going on, who was what. Because again, if you know nothing, you can still go in. Remember, Nicolas Cage did a ripoff called Willy's Wonderland.
Oh yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah, he doesn't speak in the whole movie, and he beats up animatronic. This basically knockoff Freddy, but more violent. I
Hmm.
recommend any Nicolas Cage movie. Obviously, he's the man. But that was a straight ripoff because this was in uh, the Friday Nights at Freddy's itself was in limbo for a long time. Remember, they've been making this for a while, but like they would start and stop, or like it got canceled. New director, you name it. Like this movie's being made over a couple years. And I don't remember all that nonsense.
Well, they did the banana splits thing too. That was kind of like horror. So,
Yeah.
like they were kind of ripping off the FNAF thing
Well,
again. I mean, banana splits is its own thing, but it seemed like they were kind of
I was gonna
trying.
say Banana Splits gets kind of a pass because that's from like the '60s and stuff.
They were
But
evil.
yeah, that's the thing in the show that they weren't evil. They're just copying this movie, and it's like those were like nice people with suits, but they were trying to rake in the money off the Five Nights at Freddy's because those two movies came out when Five Nights at Freddy's was like, okay, there's something wrong. It's gonna be delayed again. I might make a movie about it, but it still didn't suffer. It made good money, and
Mm-hmm.
being uh, it did come out later in its lore. They did. I give them credit, so I'm gonna go ahead and give my score. I will give them an 8.0 even. I would give it 8.5, but the little sluggish parts of the movie, fine. But I give them a pass. It's their first run at it. But eight's pretty high on a scale. You did 8.5. I did 8 because we were interested. It was fun. You could just deal with what's going on. Like there's a flying cupcake. You don't have to take it too serious.
Yeah. Well, I didn't think that there was like really any boring stuff in it. The Barbie movie, there wasn't good. I wanted it to be good.
Wow, they could have made two movies out of that movie. They probably should have. I'm
Yeah.
sure we're gonna, that sequel is gonna be fast tracked because it did great. Again, this one, I hope they don't wait too long. Within maybe 2024, like if October works, like December's telling us, we might, go in theaters and see it. I'll
Oh yeah.
film me at the theater.
I ended up not watching in theaters because I heard it was way too crazy. Like the kids were too crazy, and I was like, I don't want to have anxiety, so I just watched it on Peacock.
Again, we love streaming. We can pause it. We can, if something
Yeah,
happens, come back to it. But movies, you do get this the giant screen, the better sound. But
you got a projector though, so like I get to do the movie thing at home, you know, which I just
since
because that was like given to me, so I get to
yeah,
watch
since
movies now.
me and you obviously we said we're down, and the sequel comes out. Like, uh,
Yeah.
we'll see that one. Or like right now, Aquaman 2 just came out. I need to see that. It's an exciting time for movies, I must say.
Oh yeah, I want to watch the new Aquaman. I can't believe they kept Amber Heard in it though, but I guess like you can't really, recast after you film it. I mean, you
Well,
can, right? Though they did that with Back to the Future.
in Marvel, there was two different guys who played Hulk, three technically. There was, two different War Machines, different actors come in and out. But I think with Amber Reed, like this movie was in the can a while back, and then like things went south for her. Let's just put it that way.
Hmm.
So, and they already had it. So, and this is that Aquaman 2 is the last DC cinematic universe where Henry Cavill was Superman, Ben Affleck was Batman. Now we're moving on. So Jason Momoa might stay, but the new Superman
Not
movie is going to be younger.
Jason Momoa's not that old though, is he?
I actually don't know how old he is. I think he's younger than me, probably, but that's not saying much. He's probably in his late 30s.
Hmm. I don't know.
He
I
was
thought he.
also in Fast X that came out this year, by the way. We saw that.
Oh, she's only in the movie for 20 minutes.
Yeah, 2.5 hour movie. That's not too much. I still
Yeah,
love the first one.
canceled or whatever. I know,
Oh, okay.
right?
Jason
Isn't
Momoa's. Oh, I'm sorry. What did you say?
so that she's like canceled right now, right? Isn't that what they call it when nobody likes somebody? It's like you're canceled,
Yeah, I don't think she's getting hired too much. So
and then she owes all that money or whatever to Johnny Depp.
is that what ended up happening? I know he won. Yeah.
Yeah, she owes him like millions of dollars.
Huh?
Well, she could probably afford it though. She'll be fine.
Yeah, I don't know too much about her other than that. I haven't seen her in too much, but you know, sports stuff gives you a good idea of what you're dealing
Yeah, that stuff was pretty rough. I think
with.
everybody was on Team Johnny's side.
But
You know.
well, thanks to him, we got some really good pirate movies, and people don't know that's like a secret phrase around here because pirates are awesome.
Oh yeah, Pirates of the Caribbean, so good. Those are good. I think he's been in a lot of good movies, but I think that lately, like when he does these Tim Burton movies, I think they haven't been very good anymore because he keeps
Yeah,
redoing classics and making them stupid.
and Johnny didn't have to be in every one of his freaking movies. Like
Yeah,
people can get stale to actors because you just keep seeing, like Quentin Tarantino. We talk about him like he hires the same people. We get it, but you know,
Rob Zombie does it too.
yeah, if it's one of his movies, his wife will be in it for sure, whether you like it or not.
Yeah, they just get their friends and stuff like that, and um,
We should do a show just about that Monsters movie that me and you talked about where it's terrible.
no, dude, that was the worst thing I've ever watched. Because I've been like watching the Munsters since I was little. Like that was my favorite show, and Rob Zombie just ruined it. It was so stupid. The only character I think did great in the movie compared to everybody else was the grandpa. That guy, he really did try. He really tried. But I mean, How are you gonna beat Al Lewis? You can't.
Yes, that one. Everybody looked great. He did a good job of making you remember the show. But what his
Colors
story
are nice too,
was
like the
bad.
vibrant colors.
Yeah, like it looked great, but me and you saw it at different times with different people, and all of us. This is them watching it with me. Were like it was hard to get through. It really dragged down for a while, and then you find out spoilers. It leads into the show we remember so well. Like, yeah, okay, I
Yeah,
didn't
they're
need that
more
treatment.
for the family and stuff, and Lily Munster, like the way what's like his wife, she just did the worst Lily Munster. Like it was just like, what is that weird voice you're doing? Why are you doing that? 'Cause it was bizarre, and I didn't care for it at all. But they did a bunch of monster movies. Remember, like back in the day, they did like the Christmas one that was really stupid. And it was different people playing up monsters, and they just never can do it. Like you just can't recreate that.
Yeah, that's a good movie we put in this because being like the end of the year, like that was all in this year. You
Hmm.
know, more movies that like. Uh, there's been a lot of junk, but we got lucky and like this show, we pick them because some we know and have seen want to show each other or tell the public. But when it's a big one like this, like you know, Barbie did was bad apples for us. This one, we give thumbs up because you know we're not going to recommend you see something if
Hmm.
like the monsters. Like yeah, there wasn't the problem wasn't like the way it looked or he left the cursing out, thank goodness. But when your story is really bland and boring and you only have like your three major characters, oh my gosh. This one could have been that way. Five Nights had just your main character, the cop girl, the sister, and then the bad guys kind of. You
Hmm.
know, they get taken out, but it's not a large cast, so it could have. But this one didn't drag on for me. Like I was invested the whole
The monsters is definitely like kid friendly, but it just sucked though. It wasn't very
I don't see
good.
it. I don't think our kids would like that. That's a
It
garbage.
actually put me to sleep when I started watching it. Like
Yeah, if
that's
we get bored, our kids aren't gonna watch.
Yeah, that's true. Little kids ain't going. But they make movies too long nowadays too. Like I was talking about, the Barbie movie is way too long. The Little Mermaid is way too long. Like these movies don't need to be like 2.5 hours. Like that's too long for a movie. Unless it's like
That
really good, I don't want to sit there that long.
the Little Mermaid was came out this year too, right?
Yeah, but they
That's
added
brand
an
new.
extra 40 minutes to the live action one. That didn't need to happen, and the new songs they didn't need to add those. You know.
Well, Disney on their when they do their own property, a lot of hit and misses. Like
Mm.
whatever's wrong with the Snow White movie ain't coming out. Maleficent was good, but like some of the other ones, now they didn't hit too well. But
I never liked
and
the action ones, like the Beauty and the Beast. Everything about it, I hated it. It was just like everything. That's my favorite Disney movie, and they wrecked it. Like I just couldn't get the emotion. Like when she's holding the Beast, and he just looks like a cartoon, and she's crying, and so it didn't hit me like the cartoon did. Like the cartoon made me cry. That one didn't. And the I didn't like the way the Potts looked. Mrs. Potts and Chip, they look stupid. The candlestick looks stupid, and the castle was beautiful. That's about it. I didn't like the Beast. He looked like Satan. Like everything was just off. I did not like that live action. Emma Watson can't
that,
sing.
I was gonna say that was Emma Watson, right?
Yeah, she can't sing, and she looked like she's 12, and then that guy looked like he was like 50. It's like that don't look right to me. Like it didn't look right. Like she just has such a young face or whatever. Like I don't know. I don't think she's right for Belle. But
Yeah, these Disney characters, like they change people's genders a lot. Like instead of somebody's mom being dead, the dad will be. Because like the guy in the Little Mermaid, like instead of his dad was a mom. No, they changed some things, which they didn't need to. But look, The Lion King came out within the last year or two. I haven't seen all of it, but it looks okay. Talking animals.
Hmm. I just don't. I just never am impressed by the live action stuff they do. It's like
I
I
saw
don't
some of.
even necessarily want them to do these live action movies. Like, who wants these movies? And I'm not sure they're
I've
making them.
seen. Yeah, I've seen half of the Aladdin with Will Smith. It looks like a high school play on TV. Like,
That was the worst too. That was so bad. Aladdin's good too, like the cartoon. Mm, yeah, I
yeah,
didn't. Will Smith did
they
a good job.
they sleep on like some of the points of all these great movies, but like we're talking tonight about a movie about Chuck E. Cheese went evil, but
Yeah,
they stayed and said they owned it. It's fun. Like we'll do our thing. Um, all these other like we rib on a movie tonight from this year or recently. Like I must say, I remember sitting through a lot of bad movies this year. Some brand new. Uh, you know, some of the MCU movies that came, like the new Ant-Man movie, wasn't all that great. TV shows I missed. And, like, there's been 12 Star Wars shows that came out, and I can't keep up with everything. But we try. We try, and we do have some loyal fans who throw suggestions in the comments, so it worked.
yeah. Well, and there's been a lot of stuff I've been putting on, and I turned it off as boring. Like, there's a lot of stuff I can't even finish now. It's like I don't know what's been going on with the movies lately. I think maybe like definitely like I can go back to the monster thing. I think that Rob Zombie doesn't really watch the monsters because he didn't know what he's talking about. So I think he's
Right?
like a poser. I think he just is like I like the monsters, but like you didn't even know any of the lore and stuff. Like he got so much things wrong and stuff about it. So I think just like sometimes it will be somebody that doesn't have a passion for it that makes it. Just like Tim Burton when he did Alice in Wonderland, he doesn't even like
Mm.
that story. Why would they have
Yeah.
somebody who hates Alice in Wonderland make the movie because it sucked? Like it was terrible. It wasn't important to him. And I think that makes a big difference when people direct movies that they don't even care about. Maybe it's just for the
Well,
money or something. I don't know.
oh, oh, sure. Well, I think it was within this year. Mrs. M had never seen Return to Oz, the sequel.
Oh, I love that.
And we watched that, and I've seen it before, but she was like, "This is just weird, and I don't know what's going on." But that movie stays more to the book. Like, you read the book, you
I
see
can
some
say
of the
I read
characters.
all the Oz books, and it's really just like it. It's like 3 and 4. Like I read all those. It's just those 2 books put together. I thought that was a little better than the original Wizard of Oz. That Return to
Yeah,
Oz, because I'm a big fan of the books and stuff. I really thought it was great.
yeah, they gave it more, and you can relate. They gave it more like a labyrinth feel, like
Oh yeah, I love the
very
character.
energetic, a lot of characters.
Big Dog, yeah, Jack Pumpkinhead. I thought that was a really good, really well done. Um, I'm not sure who made that though. I don't think it was Jim Henson, but I can see what you're talking about. It does have like that type of fantasy thing that I like. You know, 80s
Well,
fantasies.
speaking of that, before I move forward, let me plug that behind the scenes, we're getting my Twitch channel together. We might try some gaming. Where we are, but come watch us be fools and yell and scream. Being on Twitch, might we try not to cuss on this show. I can't promise anything on that one.
Mhm.
I'm not good at games, so come. I'll put. I think it's in our about section on the channel. The link to the Twitch channel. At the end of most of the videos that I put out with the trailers and everything, you can see that I have an Instagram and a Twitter. And y'all can find us that way if anybody wants to come.
I'm a gamer. I'm just a bad one though. But I do game.
And because we're horror fans, we're first going to try what Dead by Daylight might be our first.
Or Friday the 13th. I'm gonna get that on the Switch. So
Yeah, that's
yeah.
right. I keep, yeah.
and then we'll do Friday the 13th because that will be fun. Um, I'll kind of guide you through it or whatever, but I kind of suck too, so don't be getting mad if we both get killed because we'll probably both just get killed.
But I
Um,
think that's going to be the fun. People can watch us be just like taken
just
back
try.
because we don't know what's going on.
We'll just try. We'll try to get it out if we don't. It's. I don't get that mad about it anymore. You know. I don't
And for
feel.
fun, we could throw in some classics. Like me and you could play regular old Mario Brothers one day, Donkey
Oh
Kong. Or
yeah, that would be fun. Um. Yeah, I haven't I haven't played the Switch much, but I usually play on the Xbox. But I'll just get the games on the Switch because I know you have a Switch, so we could just play that, right?
Yeah, we don't have a main like Xbox or anything right now. Like I said, Rem's got like VR tech and a tablet he can play games on. And I've seen him with like the Switch in his hand playing on the tablet in front of him. So it shouldn't be too hard. But yeah, I can't wait to see how bad we do and how much fun it is.
I know I'm kind of embarrassed actually because I suck, dude. I straight suck at that game, but I play it all the time. But I'm not good.
That's the thing. You always play sometimes. I haven't touched the video game in forever. But there's the
No,
plug. Come watch us be ridiculous. Uh, that's going to be on the Twitch channel related to this. But
watch you end up being better than me. Like you just get it real quick, and then I just still suck.
we'll see. But I can't wait to see what because I haven't went and looked at games that are available, or because there's so many. Me and you might play. Who knows?
Yeah. Well, we'll start with the horror ones though, just because I'm familiar with those, and it kind of goes with the theme, right? Spookies or
Yeah.
whatever, you know. Although we don't
Well,
do a spooky show anymore, we're doing random or whatever, random stuff now.
yeah, but FNAF is technically kind of horror. There's a lot of people getting taken out and eaten, and
That's true. It is spooky,
it's
definitely.
the souls of children in an animatronic animal. That's a cool plot, and they did it okay, and I enjoy watching it. I know the kids know about it, but there's scenes I didn't want my youngin really seeing, but they've seen it all nowadays. I don't.
Oh yeah, they look at the stuff on YouTube. There's crazy stuff on YouTube.
But here on our show, you heard me say it. Like we try and tell people if it's worth something checking out. If you check it out, I said it about a movie today, like Barbie. If you plan to show your children, you watch it first. So you might even be able to like fast forward through some parts. But this one for that, we recommend it. Go see it, check it out. If you do and you haven't seen it yet, and you're a fan of ours, come back and comment. We always bring up people that talk to us, and we've had like I mentioned Miss Hannah. One movie review, the director showed up in the comments. I mean, I
Oh
assume it was really him, but you never know who's watching.
yeah. Well, I hope that Rob Zombie isn't watching because I talk so badly about his movies.
But some are hit and miss. By the way, all the people in the Munsters, you can see out of makeup in his Halloween 2 that came out. Like Grandpa, Lily, obviously, and Herman. Those characters are all regular, but Michael Myers takes them out. So
Mm. Oh,
you can
Fred
see him.
Gwynn, he used to dress up like Herman all the time just for the kids or whatever. And like when they filmed the Munsters, he would just go on his lunch break in the freaking the Munsters car, you know, dressed as Herman, and everybody's like, "Whoa, what the heck?" And he was in the Macy Day Parade, and that was kind of cool. That was like probably in the '60s though, right? That's when that show was out.
Yeah, when I was but a young in myself, the black and white original show was in reruns when we were kids, and that's how we saw it. And
See, I
then
think that's way older than us. So
yeah, the show was like the late 50s and the 60s. Then they had a remake movie of when they rebooted it with different people, but that one was just didn't do much either way. But
They did a reboot show.
no, I don't know who. No, I think it was just a movie, and the guy from he was in like Car 54. Where are you? Like he stepped in as Herman, and they did an okay job. But that one did, I think, have the cousin Marilyn in it, which
Isn't that what Fred Glenn started off on? Car 54?
that was who did it first. I forgot the second guy.
Yeah. Hal Lewis? Or are you talking about, maybe you're talking about somebody else.
All right, just turning the cam off. I'm still here. Um,
I know they did a movie in the 90s with a different cast, but then the original people had cameos in the movie. Like
that's the one I was talking about. Like,
yeah,
it's
but
not a
except
straight reboot, but
Fred Glenn wasn't in it because he passed, but everybody else was.
well, actually, speaking of him, we just watched some of the. They came out with a new Pet Cemetery.
Oh, they came up with a new one? Are you talking about the
They
one a couple of years ago?
Well, there was one in like 2018, and it was a movie reboot. And then we watched something called Bloodlines. That it's like a show, and it was okay. But that's also something that came out this year. It was a busy year. Hello.
Oh yeah, Pet Cemetery is a weird one, ain't it? Because like I thought Fred Glenn was kind of a jerk in that movie because
Oh, good.
how he told the guy you don't want to bury your kid here and all that, and then he helped him and showed him how to do it. He's like telling him how bad it was for him with his dog, and then he did it. It's like you just told him how bad it was, and then you like helped him do it. Why? Like
Yeah,
that was messed up.
you reminded me the movie show, whatever we watched, was Fred Gwynne's character, the prequel about him, like what happened to him before the movie in the 90s happened.
Hmm.
So just prequels everywhere. Look, this year the Wednesday Addams TV show came out on Netflix. I did watch it, and like the Munsters, it's a classic. And this obviously is just about her, but it's cool. So they keep trying to reboot things or prequelize things, like the Willy Wonka movie that's out right now. Who wanted a prequel about his life? Like I didn't really need to know what he was doing when he was a kid.
Mm,
But I haven't seen it. I can't say.
no, but I kind of wish they would just leave Willy Wonka alone right now. It's just like they're talking about redoing Labyrinth. I'm really not. I don't want them to do that. Just like, please don't.
I hope not. I never heard anything about that one being redone. Thank goodness. Leave
I
stuff
think it
alone.
was Doctor Who or whatever. They did like
Hmm.
this Goblin King thing, but I don't think it was based off like the David Bowie one. But they made him look like Jabba the Hutt or whatever. It's like, what the heck? And he was
Yeah.
like babies and stuff, so it was kind of weird.
By the way, I'm writing down as we talk movies we like just now. I wrote Labyrinth, so one of our shows can be us giving a retrospect. We've both seen it, but we love it, and we'll give it its own due. So I'm writing
Oh
that
yeah,
down.
that's definitely a great idea.
I think we own it here. I might have it on DVD. I don't know. Um, you have one more movie suggestion for me from the Italian universe. I got you with the last one, but
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
I
More
forgot about the Maggot Storm.
Yeah, I know. Please don't make me watch that again.
No, I think you wrote down some notes. You could just go up that. We can. I actually want to talk more about the innkeepers in that episode because that was
Oh,
new to me. You suggested it, we liked it, and it was different and cool. So, episode 3, that's in the ether. We will do it again, everybody. Don't worry.
you still need to watch The House of the Devil too. That one was good.
Yes, I had that on my on the movies you sent me, and I'll go find them on streaming or whatever and put them in my.
That
And
one's
I
pretty
can.
suspenseful though. It's pretty wild and like it has a twist to it too. I ain't gonna ruin it. So I'm not gonna say nothing, but you need to
Is
watch it.
that's a newer movie or?
I think it was in maybe 2014 or something. It was a few years
Okay.
back. Um, but it's still good, and it's supposed to be in the
Yeah.
80s, but it ain't. But they did a
Of
fine
course
job.
not.
It was good. I thought it was great.
Yeah.
I like both of the movies, both of the ones I recommended.
Yeah. Well, for anybody who doesn't know, like we may have seen the movies we talk about, but we're trying to, if we see, even if we've seen them, we want to give them their due. And like, you
Mhm.
know, like again, like I hate to keep going back to Barbie, but it's a good way to show like we don't just talk good about everything. Like if we have a problem, you
Yeah,
know, we don't recommend that one. Like maybe if you're a, even that's the thing, even if you're a Barbie fan, they kind of mess with the lore a little bit. Going back
yeah.
to
I know. I was like
like
thinking
this
about it, and it sucks.
again, I give them credit for the FNAF movie. Like the little bit on lore that I knew going in was pretty consistent. You know, they did a pretty good job. They didn't waste my time. But if anybody didn't hear, Miss Hannah gave it an 8.5. I gave the movie an 8. I give it high marks for the costume design and like the effects. Like they made a floating attacking cupcake interesting and fun to watch. You know. Like I didn't have to think too much. It was just
So
flying
I
around. It
didn't
was great.
know if I would like it or not because I don't really care about Five Nights at Freddy's. To be honest, I don't play the game, so I'm like, oh, whatever. That's my son's thing, whatever. So I didn't know if I would like it or not. I thought it was gonna suck. I have to sit through this, but I ended up thinking it was pretty good. You know.
I think that me and you just saying that shows it was a decent movie. Like, yeah, we knew some of the lore. We knew what was we were getting into when we watched the movie, but we both came out the other side like that was new and interesting. And you know, there's a lot of movies like you can't. There's nothing new under the sun. Like, yes, most horror movies are a plot. There's a million of them. You
Yeah.
know, we mentioned Nicolas Cage's ripoff Willy's Wonderland, the Banana Splits. Like a killer animatronic isn't, that's not new. But if you just heard the name, go and don't know, it's still worth watching as a horror movie. They give their own little twist. Spoilers, Matthew Lillard did it, but
Yeah.
you have ghosts, you have attacking monsters. If you want to call them that,
They added Nicolas Cage to Dead by Daylight. He's in my game now.
as himself or one of his
Yeah,
characters.
he's himself. Like, that's really weird. But he's just a set. He
Well,
plays him and like, you know.
there was a movie that came out, I believe it was in this fiscal year of 2023. The Massive Weight of Incredible Talent or something like that. Nicolas Cage plays Nicolas Cage himself,
Mm.
and he befriends a drug lord who worships his movie career. And they have the like props, guns from his other movies he uses. That was fun and worth watching. But Nicolas Cage, come on, you could probably watch him read the phone book, and he'd be fun. He'd be interesting. So.
Yeah, he's kind of crazy, and he spends a lot of money on stupid stuff. You
Yeah,
know.
one of his castles was here in New Orleans somewhere, but I think he had to sell that. But
Yeah, and he just buys like random dinosaur bones and stuff. He's like an 8-year old with like millions of dollars. He buys crazy stuff. I think he bought some sharks and stuff too. Like he's just nuts. He's just
well,
crazy.
now he ain't buying nothing. I mean, I know he's still working, but
Is he
apparently he
broke?
didn't do his taxes.
Oh, he's broke the house.
Like I said, he had 7 or 8 houses. One was here in New Orleans, but he had a tax problem or such, and I think he had to sell most of his stuff. I don't know about the dinosaur bones and all. That's a little
He's
much. Like,
rich, I guess, with money. He's too childish. You know. Um,
yeah, we
I
don't know
did.
how we would act if with that kind of money. So,
I don't think I'd be buying. Well, maybe I'd buy a dinosaur. I don't know. Thought about it. Um, I did play Dead by Daylight last night, and I ended up playing as Chucky, which is kind of weird because you're tiny, you're really short, but you run really fast. And it's weird because like I was like, how is he gonna put the people on the hook? Like it didn't make sense to me. But then it's like he turns into Charles Lee Ray, like the spirit of him, and then he puts you on the hook. So I'm like, that's so weird how he did that. Like it's kind of interesting because it just looks like Brad Dourif or whatever. But I thought that was kind
Yeah.
of how they did that because I was like, how is like a doll gonna put the people on the hooks? It didn't make sense. But I
Speaking of
thought
Chucky, oh, go ahead.
no, it was cool how they did that. I thought it was interesting. I'll just show you what I mean later. I'll like show you a video or something because it doesn't make sense probably how I'm saying it.
I had mentioned to you the other day, like, I've never played Dead by Daylight, but I've seen almost all the clips of the horror people. I know Chucky's kind of was added newer. Leatherface, apparently is there,
The
but
Cenobites, yeah.
yeah, my favorite. But Child's Play, we, as in me and Mrs. M, have one more movie to watch in the franchise that is Child's Play. We watched the remake, if you want to call it that. I've watched a couple episodes, two or three, of the show that's out right now with Brad Dorff's still the voice. But I think me and you should go back and do another Child's Play show, and because me and you back then didn't even see, like, I don't think Cult of Chucky came out till
Yeah,
a couple
yeah
years
well,
ago. So
there was like that Mark Hamill Chucky, but I don't know. That was a really bad one, and Brad Dorff he hates that one. He like him and his daughter, like, f that Chucky. They didn't like it at all.
I'm a big fan of Fiona Dorff's daughter. I think she's a great actress. She's very cute, very short. She's in a wheelchair in the Chucky series, which is fine. But uh, look, that's a hit and miss franchise. Like Jennifer Tilly plays herself in the movie that she's in. That's great. Very meta of them.
Yeah. Well, Jennifer
I,
Tilly's getting older and stuff now, though. It's weird because they're trying. I don't know if it's supposed to be. So wait, is she? I thought it was Tiffany as Jennifer Tilly.
in one movie, she gets put into the Tiffany doll. Well, she's one movie. She's not herself, but the one with her, Red Man and whatever. Jennifer Tilly's Jennifer Tilly, and the doll's trying to get into Jennifer Tilly because the voice is her. It's really meta, like it's really weird. But from what I understand, the last two, and it's Cult and Curse of Chucky. We've only seen one of them. There's one more to go. So just to let people know, we love doing a little franchise thing, so we can talk about all 8 movies real quick. But we're gonna do a Child's Play show again.
And we talked about aliens and stuff.
We did Aliens and Hellraiser for me, and oh, and by the way, the Alien one, like to me, that was a very big deal. Me and you really went in depth about that, so we need to definitely bring that back.
I watched all the movies and stuff just so we can do that video. I was watching all the movies that week, and oh, and that alien is in the Dead by Daylight. Now you could be like a xenomorph, so that's kind
I'm
of cool.
putting up. I'm sorry. I just noticed Rabbit Old Bats in the chat. I'm subbed to her channel. She does like a great show on people, current events, fun topics. So hello, Rabbit Old Bats. Glad you came in.
Yeah.
Now we just hit over an hour, and we don't like to go too much past that because then it just gets kind of stale. And our show is kind of upbeat, but
Well, we go on. We
to
talk about all kinds of stuff then.
yeah, and we like to keep y'all guessing as well. Like, we could tell you what's on our list, like what's coming up, but that wouldn't be fun. And now that we did live tonight, we're gonna try and do some more live. Because Saturday was our thing. Might not be Saturday. It's called the Random Movie Review Show. Could be any day of the week, anytime. But like for tonight, I did put a premiere so people could see. So if you're subbed, it's easy to see. We'll do it. But now that we come to the end, I'm just going to recap for everybody. We were talking about the Five Nights at Freddy movie. It came out 2023, based off the video game, fan fiction films, you name it. Starring Josh Hiddleston, directed by Emma Tammy. We both gave it high credits. Miss Hannah gave it 8.5. I gave it an 8. Very high on our list because it was very fun. They did a really good job of keeping me interested. The gore was enough to where, as a horror fan, well, some people call themselves horror experts. I don't know how you get that title, but I think I watched enough. I wasn't disappointed. Like One person was literally bit in half. That was fun. So I give
Mhm.
them credit. We recommend this movie, and you know, keep an eye on our channel if you're part of the Doobie Brother family. That we talk to anybody. So from me, Colonel Chubbs, and from Miss Hannah herself, who's we both co-host this show. This is our show. Everybody, come back for more. So that was our movie review, Five Nights at Freddy's. So until next time, we love everybody. So over and out.